AliExpress recently got in touch about their anniversary sale and asked if I wanted to pick a watch to review, along with giving you some exclusive discount codes to get a bit more money off during the sale. Now, if you've been around this channel for a while, you'll know I'm not really here to just show you whatever the latest hype watch on AliExpress happens to be. I'd much rather dig around and find the slightly odd stuff, the watches people forgot about, and the ones that make you stop scrolling for a second. Which brings us, quite conveniently, to this. This is a proper classy looking Moonphase from Sugess, and honestly, it's a bit of a doozy. If you fancy picking one of these up, or you just want to grab something else in the sale, the exclusive discount codes on screen now should knock a fairly decent chunk off your purchase. And if you want to push the savings a bit further, AliExpress are also running a Teams Cashback Challenge, where we all jump in as one team and earn up to 10% cashback on purchases. The more people who join, the bigger the cashback gets. The link to join my team is down in the description with the discounts. Anyway, let's put this Sugess through its paces. First impressions, and honestly, I'm absolutely blown away with this one. Now let's get things straight, this isn't my sort of watch. The closest thing I own to a matching suit is the tracksuit I wear coaching an under-15s football team, and the closest I get to a night out on the tiles is standing on the tiled floor of my local takeaway waiting for extra chilli sauce to be smothered over my doner kebab. But even so, I can still appreciate good design and quality finishing when I see it, and this thing has it in bag loads. And all at a frankly ridiculous price of £115 in the sale before you even start stacking any of those discount codes I mentioned earlier. The first thing that surprised me was the chunkiness of it. It's got a bit of heft, it feels substantial and weighty, but in a good way. It doesn't feel like one of those dainty dress watches you're scared to move your wrist in. The case in particular feels a bit more contemporary, almost slightly sporty, and that kind of sets the tone for the whole watch really. It feels like a modernised take on some very traditional ideas. Now with this many complications on a dial finish like this, it would be very easy for a watch to start looking busy. But they've laid it out really logically, everything feels balanced, almost mathematical in the way it's arranged, so you get the visual interest without turning the dial into a complete mess. Specs wise, you're looking at a 41mm stainless steel case with a mix of brushing and polish finishing, 51mm lug to lug and about 14mm thick. Up top there's a flat sapphire crystal, and on the side a rather lovely onion style push-pull crown, giving it 50 metres of water resistance. You've got BGW9 lume, a shimmering aventurine dial, a leather strap, and ticking away inside is the Seagull ST2825 movement, visible through the screwed-in display case back. As mentioned earlier, the case is quite substantial, but it's really well proportioned. From the top, it's quite clear that the case has been designed to push your focus towards the dial. The bezel is thinned right down, so it frames the dial rather than competing with it. And the same goes for the lugs, and finished in full polish with no quirky chamfers or tricks visible from the top-down view. The side profile is where it really comes alive though. You've got a perfectly straight brushed mid-case, sandwiched between two thin rings of polished finish. It's a really clean design, and the actual fit and finish here is excellent. It's genuinely better than I expected on something this inexpensive. I'd put this right up there with some of the better cases you'd find on AliExpress, and I've honestly struggled to find anything obvious to criticise. You'll notice the push-button crown on either side of the case, which are used to quick set the big date and the Moonphase complications. But flip it around and you'll see the large bulbous onion-style crown. It's big enough that it's very easy to grip and it operates nice and smoothly. Although, with the pushers doing most of the work, the crown's only real job is setting the time, so smooth operation is pretty much a bare minimum. One thing that does slightly irk me though is the crown's position, because where the movement sits inside the case, the crown doesn't actually sit perfectly centred. You don't feel it, and it doesn't cause any practical issues, but visually it does just look a little bit off. Flip the watch over and the whole underside of the case is finished in full polish. There's nothing particularly exciting going on back here, but it's all done very well. The cutting is tidy too. The back of the lugs, for example, are flattened slightly underneath, so there's no sharp edges digging into your wrist. Through the display case back, you can see the Seagull ST2528 automatic. Now this isn't the most exotic movement to come out of China. It's a fairly standard 3Hz workhorse, but it actually looks far better than the price would suggest. You get a nicely finished rotor, a fairly interesting movement layout, with a balance bridge that gives the impression of something a bit more special than it really is, and it's all decorated with pearl arch, which helps sell the illusion of quality. It is slightly let down by the rotor though. It's a bit noisy and you do get the faint metal on metal grinding sound when it spins. But again, with this watch priced so low, I can't really complain about it, and to be honest, I fully expected it. Now the dial on this thing is pretty wild. It's definitely not something I'd usually go for, but it is a genuinely stunning thing, and about as far from boring as you can get. The dial is finished in a really high quality aventurine and it sparkles like mad. It's probably a bit too much for me to pull off personally, but I could absolutely spend a stupid amount of time watching this thing shimmer. That shimmer does get a little distracting with everything else going on though. I found myself checking the time, getting distracted by the sparkles, and then a few seconds later checking the time because I'd completely forgotten to actually read it. But honestly, if you like the look of this dial, I think you'll absolutely love it. The rest of the dial features are actually quite simple, but they're done very well. Around the edge there's a clean minute track with the printed markers every 5 minutes, and each one is given a small strip of loom. In the centre you've got the Sugess logo with Moonphase printed alongside it. In the top half sits a big frame date, which is controlled by the push button on the left hand side of the case. It's recessed slightly, so it's impossible to press accidentally, and it really needs a pointed tool to operate. The big date itself is colour matched to the dial and uses serif numerals, which makes it look very classy. It's a really nice looking feature, although because it sits quite deep in the dial, combined with the sparkle of the aventurine and that fairly thick silver frame, it can be a little tricky to read at a quick glance. From a pure legibility standpoint, it might have worked better with a high contrast setup, something like white with black numerals, but that would have definitely taken away from the overall look of the dial. Down at 6 o'clock, you've got a small seconds integrated into the Moonphase. Like the big date, that's adjusted by another pusher near the crown. Now it's not a true astronomical Moonphase because it takes 31 clicks to run through a full cycle, but it still looks very good and thankfully avoids that cheap cartoonish look that a lot of Moonphases end up with. The handset is a little bit hit or miss though. The Dauphine hands for the hours and minutes are excellent. Nice and long, sharply defined and finished very well. But the seconds hand feels like it belongs to a slightly different watch. The Dauphine hands are quite clean and contemporary, where the seconds pointer has a more traditional curved design. There's nothing wrong with the quality, it looks great, but stylistically it just feels a little out of place compared to the rest of the handset. One thing I definitely can't complain about though is the loom. And honestly, I wasn't expecting much given the style of the watch and the relatively small loomed areas. But it's actually pretty good. It's bright, lasts a decent amount of time, and I like that the hands hold onto the loom a little longer than the dial. Far too many watches recently have had the opposite problem, where the hands disappear before the dial, which is basically useless. You've even got loom on the Moonphase itself, with the stars and moon giving a healthy lick of the stuff. It obviously isn't going to last as long as the rest of the loom, but the fact that it's there at all is a really nice surprise. So yeah, visually, this thing's doing a lot, but how does it actually wear? For a watch with such a large lug to lug, it actually wears surprisingly well. It's comfortable, and although the camera probably makes it look bigger on my wrist than it really is, the lugs do fit neatly within the width of my wrist. I do have a fairly flat wrist though, so even though it's only about 6¼ inches, most of that measurement is on the top and bottom rather than the sides. It does sit a little higher than I'd like though. It does feel a bit like it's perched on top of my wrist rather than really hugging it. But overall, I could happily wear this for a full day without it becoming uncomfortable. In fact, I already have, which is something I try to do with every watch before I sit down and actually write anything about it. The leather strap feels decent enough. Nothing immediately stands out as particularly special, but equally, there's nothing shoddy about it either. it just feels like a fairly typical dress watch strap. It's quite stiff out the box, but there's enough quality there that I think it'll break in nicely and become a bit more supple over time. The sign buckle is nicely done though. It feels like it was actually designed for the watch, rather than pulled out of a generic parts bin. You've got polishing on the outside with brushing through the centre. And honestly, getting that level of finishing on the buckle of a watch that cost about 115 quid is pretty commendable. All in all, this does feel like a very special watch for a seriously good price. It's definitely not a style I'd normally gravitate towards, but I'm glad I picked it because it's been nice to experience something that feels genuinely unique and impressively well made. And if you do like this style, you're getting finishing here that could embarrass some Swiss watches for what is basically pocket change. So well done, Sugess. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.